Hello everyone and welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. I'm Sandra and this is a crochet and knitting podcast with some sewing and other crafty bits and bobs thrown in. You'll find the show notes for everything I talk about in the podcast on my blog, which is cherryhearts.co.uk. If you just click the menu and you'll find it under podcast. You can also use the little chapters below the video to jump to the different sections of the things I talk about if you're on YouTube. I'm not sure if that works if you're on watching from a TV, but it works on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's the beginning spiel. Oh no, you can find me on Instagram on Sandra Cherry HRT and elsewhere around the web as Cherry Heart. So hello, how are you? As you'll notice, I'm in different surroundings today because next door is having some work done and they're making a lot of racket because apparently it's not enough to do your work and make the ensuing racket from doing your work. Apparently you have to have the radio blaring over the top of all the other racket you're making as well. So I went up to my little crafty box down the garden and the noise was pretty bad up there. So I'm recording down here, even though he's working up there. So I feel a bit self-conscious and weird. But hey ho, we'll give it a go. Yeah. Anyway, before I launch into it, I just wanted to say, so now we've got the dog interrupting. He was lying down peacefully in the living room, but of course, because I'm speaking, now he has to come and interrupt us. Right, well, he's in here. He'll probably be in incessant pain until I pick him up now. But we'll see how it goes. Yes, before I launch into everything, all I was just going to say is thank you so very much for all your lovely comments and messages since the last podcast. Yeah, it's just beautiful messages I've received, and just thank you so much for everyone who left any comment at all. Just, it's so much appreciated, and there's just so many of you as well that clearly know exactly what I'm going through and have been there yourself, and in similar circumstances sometimes as well. So just my sympathies to anyone that's going through the same thing as well, and just such touching comments, and they have been very nice to read, very comforting and very much appreciated. Yes, so thank you for that, I wanted to say, but I'll launch right into it, I think. He's rubbing himself against my foot in an attempt to get attention, aren't you? What are you doing? I suppose we better pick him up. Come on then, nuisance. Oh. It's going to be so much harder to show things when I've got you on my lap, though. This is what you don't seem to appreciate. No, I know you don't. So the first thing I was going to show you, I was going to talk about the things I finished first. So the first thing I have, yes, thank you Bert for your contribution, making this so much easier. It's not going to be comfortable. Don't lick my table. It's not going to be comfortable for you anyway. Is that where you're staying, is it? Right, so the first thing I have to show you is these lovely mitts. These are just, they were supposed to be my absolutely simple mitts, which is where I just cast on and basically knit garter stitch. Ooh, funny things happening with the light there. Basically knit garter stitch for a while and then stop. I normally do it in double knitting on 3.75 needles. So I did that for these, and they came out lovely, but they were quite a little bit loose. And I'm making these for my daughter, so I wanted them a bit tighter if anything. And she's been borrowing a pair I made quite a few years ago now, and she wanted a pair for herself. So that was fine. I thought I'd just do that. So I made them exactly the same as I'd made the previous pair. And she tried them on and they were too big for her. And then I tried them on, they were actually quite big for me. So I guess my tension has loosened up since then. Yeah, so I had to undo them and do them again, which I did. And then I went over the top and made them too tight. I think I took off too many stitches and I went down the needle sides. I probably should have just done one or the other. Yes, third time I managed to get them right, and I did actually, the bottom is a little bit wider and I have actually narrowed slightly as I've gone up this time. Just because she pulls them up further than I do as well. My first ones that I made, I'll put them on because they do fit me as well. The first one I made, I just sort of have them like literally just over my wrist, quite loose, but she likes to pull hers quite high up. So I put a bit of shaping in so she could pull them up if she wanted to. There we go, gorgeous yarn, which is a homespun house, and I can't remember the colour. I've put it in show notes, I'll pop it down below. Yes, so those ones were fine, and then once I'd made those, I made another pair for my niece as well, in a different, I didn't do garter stitch, I did stockinette. It's just got a little tiny moss stitch cuff, by the way. Yeah, just a few rows of moss stitch at the bottom and the top. Yeah, so I made a pair for my niece as well, but I've gifted those away to her, so I'll shove a picture in. But the yarn I used for those was some lovely stuff that I got in Los Angeles when I went yarn shopping with Claudia from Crochet Luna podcast, which is a lovely podcast, by the way. If you don't watch already, pop over and check her out. She's just yeah, she's a lovely lady, and she's always got something going on. She seems so busy. She runs lots of crochet alongs and things as well, which is good fun. Yes, so I made those. So they were, well, supposedly a nice simple project, but ended up being a bit of a irritating, rip it back, redoing kind of a project. So that wasn't great. And then the other thing I have finished, is this somewhere where it tells me how long I've been recording? 10 minutes, although how much of that is actual usable content, we don't know. Yes, there's your little arm pillow. So the other thing I finished, I talked about this last time, I think, which was my granny square, and it used to be a skirt. And it had like a top bit going up here in plain duck egg blue with a waistband. Yes, I know the people outside are making noise. We just have to let them get on with it. Yeah, so I took the top part off and I've just added my little edge in to turn it into a cowl, because the skirt I wasn't wearing. And yet this is going to be much more useful. So yeah, really happy with that. It's just the same both sides. Just join as you go granny squares in a big old loop. Yeah, so I shall pop that on the scarves and hats pile by the door, and I can wear that to keep me nice and cosy and warm. You're being very annoying, did you know that? You keep rubbing your collar on the table. Yush, annoying. I think I will talk about what I'm doing now. So the first thing I started, well, let me show it to you. The first thing I started was this. Let's just give you a close-up of the texture. And then if I try and hold it back here, it's quite hard to show, isn't it? So it's going to be, the shawl will be like that. This will be the top line, I believe. but I'm knitting it sort of sideways on. So it's got a nice textured patch, as you see, and I'm just starting, there's like a plain garter stitch bit as well, which I've just got to. So yes, very much enjoying that. It's got this pretty sort of edging as well, which is really nice. Yeah, so there's a lovely texture. I'll show you the pattern. And she tells you how to say it as well. Dohne. So there it is. Dohne, which is the type of wool. Type of sheep, presumably? Yeah, Dohne sheep. By Greta Merson. But I just thought that looked really elegant and beautiful. And I'm knitting it with this yarn from Eden Cottage Yarns. It's their Milburn DK, and this lovely pink colour, which is called Althea. And it's got, what is it? What's the makeup of it? 85% Blue Face Leicester, 15% silk, yummy. 50 grams, 122 yards. So I actually got this. I've got a few balls here. I think I've got 8. I actually got this for my mummy for a Mother's Day present, and I got her some lovely knitting needles as well. But when we were going to have our Mother's Day get together, that's when the lockdown started, so we didn't get together. So she ended up not getting it until the summer, because our Mother's Day is in March. Yeah, so she ended up not getting it till, I don't know, whenever it was we were able to meet up again. And yeah, so she didn't get a chance to do anything with it before she got very poorly. And so I thought I would make something with it instead. Yeah. So at first, because she hadn't had it too long, it sort of feels okay. Like she's got a lot of other, well, not a lot of, but she's got some other wool and knitting bits and bobs, and we haven't sort of, you know, touched anything else really. But yeah, this felt like something I could actually use, and I just wanted to make something nice to wrap myself up in and be cozy in, so it's sort of like a bit of a nice hug, and I think she'd be happy that it was being used for something nice. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if it would make me sort of sad or not, but actually, no, it is quite comforting and nice to work on that. It's sort of, it just feels quite a nice thing to do. So yeah, I'm slowly sort of doing little bits on that. I was kind of going a bit faster on it, but the only reason I've slowed down a little bit, actually, apart from the fact I didn't want to rush it and it to be over, which is why I started something else in the first place, was the other thing that I've started I'm actually also really, really enjoying. So I wanted to talk to you about a project I've been thinking about for a little while, and I've finally plucked up the courage to attempt. And it's this, which is that Shusui Shrug? Can't say that. Shusui Shrug. By Susu Knits, which is Suzanne Summer. Did you see that on there? I think that's focused. There's a picture of it. It's only in black and white, I'm afraid. But it's a shawl with sleeves to make a shrug, and it's got brioche knitting in it, which I have never done before. So that's a bit of a new thing for me. So I've been using up the stash yarn again. So I have this one. So I need 4 skeins altogether, 2 of each colour. So this is my sort of, well, main colour, I guess. And I've got one of these wound up because I've started. And then from stash, as I said, I chose this one, which I thought would work quite well with it. And then I also have this one. Now, when it was in the skein, it looked really quite pale as well, just with sort of flecks of yellow, which I thought would pick up the flecks of yellow in this. And I thought the sort of darker black bits would just be smaller bits, but actually when you wind it up, the overall effect is quite dark. So I'll show you the little bit I've made. It doesn't look like much, but it represents quite a serious amount of work yesterday, I'll have you know. Suzanne has a nice little video sort of walking you through the first steps of the pattern. So it was really good, I just followed that. And this is what I have. So that's the front. It's supposed to be quite light and airy, which, as you can see, it's quite see-through, isn't it? And this is the back. I don't know if you can see the difference. So that's the front. And that's the back. So can you see on the back, these white lines are actually sort of standing out the most out of everything, whereas on the front, in theory, the blue lines are supposed to stand out, but actually they don't really. It all just looks a bit of a mishmash. Now it's a very small bit, I know, so maybe it's not starting to show up correctly yet. But when I watched the tutorial, she said it's better to have, she had a colour like this as her front colour, as she called it, and that was her light colour, and she actually had a darker sort of grey colour to be her background colour. So that would make, and because I'm using the blue with the white, I'm thinking I should have this as my sort of dominant colour and that as my background colour. But I wanted this colour to be sort of the majority, you know, the most visible colour, if that makes sense, and I thought having that at the front would work best, but it's looking like it maybe wouldn't, because even on the back here, the white lines show up, but it sort of seems to be against a background of blue there, which makes the, although it makes the white shine up, it makes the blue look like more of the colour, if that makes sense. Sort of more of what you're seeing is blue with white highlights. I wondered if that would look better than trying to have more of white with just blue highlights, which quite frankly don't particularly seem to be working here. And also I've got this issue of this colour being a bit too dark anyway. So I want to swap out this colour. I've had a look in Stash and I found another yarn that might be better. Now I didn't pick this one initially because it wasn't in my, sort of, I've put aside kind of a basket full of yarns that I want to use, that I'd like to sort of clear out of my stash, but I want to use them, I don't want to just get rid of them. But this is in my sort of more happy to keep for a while stash. So I didn't look at this, but I think it's going to be a better match, isn't it? It's obviously not quite the same, but it's the same type of things in that it's smaller speckles. Obviously this has got a few sort of neon little flashes in with the neon yellow, and pink's very bright as well. And this has got some, it's still got some pink and it's got some yellow in there as well actually. But I mean there's some other colours too. But I think overall that'll be a better mix, won't it? With this, certainly contrasts more. I think, what do you think? Would that be a better choice? So if I'm restarting, because this I've worked, so you alternate, this is complicated now, you alternate between the main colour and the secondary colour. But because I had two secondary colours, because I didn't have two skeins of that, I'm having to, you know, blend my second colour. I alternated the alternate rows between these two. Gosh, does that make sense? So I did, instead of doing one of those, 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 I did one of those, 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 one of those. Do you see what I mean? Which possibly is a little unnecessarily complicated. Possibly why the colours aren't showing up so well on this. So what I think I will do is I'll start with these two, work for a bit, and then when this starts to get low, I'll alternate with my new one for a little bit, just to kind of graduate it in, and then I'll just switch over and finish off in this one. I think that's the best idea. But yes, do I swap over and make this my dominant colour and this the background colour? I need to show you a picture of it, of the pattern in actual colour, so you can help me decide. I think, though actually by the time you get to see this I probably will have decided. I've got to find it now. Hang on one moment. So here it is in colour. So this tealy, greeny, whatever colour we want to call it, is her background colour, but as you can see that's the most dominant colour. And let's see if I can get, you know, there isn't really a close-up. But the white, so she's got a sort of minty green colour and then the white, but the overall effect is quite minty green. So I think I want to replicate that, but with my blue. So I think I need to make my blue the background colour. I think that is right actually, seeing that picture again. I think has convinced me that that's what I should do. Right, I think that's it. Just focused on that and took my time, and it was fine actually. She tells you exactly what to do and you do what she says to do and it works. So I have brioche knitting. So excited. Feels like the work of a magician or something. So here's my brioche bit. Well, one of the brioche bits. So as you can see, it's kind of, you get this double-sided effect. So I've got two colours, my blue and the white. And the white is the sort of dominant colour on this side, and the blue's the background. And then if I turn it round, you can see on the other side, the blue is the dominant colour and the white is the background. My needles are clattering all over the table, which is not what we want. It's also a bit scrunched up on the needles, as you can see, so you can't really see a lot. Doesn't look much at the minute, does it? It doesn't look very impressive. So yeah, so we've got a brioche bit this side, then there's some garter stitch, and then we've got another brioche bit and garter stitch and a brioche bit. So the brioche bits, I think up to this sort of eyelet hole, that's going to make the front, and then this bit's across the back, And then from this other eyelet bit, I think that's going to be the other front. So I've done quite a lot of work on this, and it is sort of bigger than it looks because it's all scrunched up. But yeah, really, really very pleased with myself for doing that. I am very pleased. Ooh, it's my little, there was a knot. Just showing you how the garter stitch looks. So the yarns I am using. So you need, oh, I need a battery change. Right, I'm not quite sure if that's how we were, but that's how we are now. Your paws are making a noise, please be quiet. You're going to want to come up again, aren't you? Oh gosh, this is so easy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with this movement. Oh, look at you. Yes, I just remembered I recorded a bit about this and I need to put that in. Oh, I don't know how that will work out. Anyway, I'll just tell you the yarns in case I haven't. So I need 4 skeins, 2 in one colour, 2 in another colour, which I don't have. So I've got this one first. I do have 2 of this. So this is a Nora George yarn. And I can't remember the colourway. Oh yes, I can, it's Elizabeth Bennet. So I've had 2 skeins, and I was going to do a shawl with this originally, but I didn't, obviously, because I'm doing, well, that's sort of a shawl, isn't it? And then my other yarn, so I've got this one, which I wanted to use with it, which I thought would look nice with it, which is a Madeline Tosh, and it's in Cosmic Wonder Dust, I'm pretty sure that's called. So yeah, that's quite nice. But I haven't got anything, well, I picked something that I thought would go with it, which I think was in the little video. I'm so sorry, this is probably going to be repetitive and rubbish. But I started with the other colour and I wasn't 100% happy with it. So then I went and I've gone and selected this one, which, as you can see, it looks pretty similar, doesn't it? It certainly dyed, well, I don't know if it's dyed in a similar way, but it's left with a similar effect of just different colour splotches on it. Now this is a Hedgerow Yarns yarn, and I don't know the colour, the name of this, so I will have to put it down below. But yeah, I like that it's got like a very similar effect, but as you can see, when you hold them up together, although this one, I was going to say, this one looks sort of more yellowy, and this one is more sort of pinky. The overall effect is a bit different. So what I'm going to do, anyway, I've started with this. I was going to alternate the pale rose all the way through, but when I started my little bit, it felt like that was a bit of a pain and I couldn't be bothered. So I've started in this, and then I thought I'll graduate the rose for a bit and then I'll switch to that, so that hopefully that kind of blends in nicely and it just doesn't look too horrendous. Right, another jolly interruption, this time of parcel delivery, and my bread was proved, so I had to go and make it up into rolls. So I've told you about the brioche knitting, I've told you about the yarns. I think I might have finished on that anyway, mightn't I? Yeah, so anyway, really enjoying knitting it, working on it, a little bit obsessed with it, to be honest. Yeah, and it's a very good pattern. So far, so good anyway. But yeah, it seems to be very clear and well written. So yeah, very much enjoying that. What else have I got to talk about? I've got a few incoming goodies, which are all beautiful gifts from beautiful friends. Oh, I need to grab them though. Hang on one second. Yes, so the first gift, I won't say who it's from because I haven't cleared it with them, but I knew it was coming. They told me to expect a parcel. So when the box, and I was just thinking, a little thing. But when the box came, it was a huge, sort of quite long box. And I was like, what on earth? My mind was sort of buckling. What on earth could it be? Anyway, so I opened it and I just roared with laughter. Because look what was inside. A dash handy breadboard. Isn't it gorgeous? So, well, actually, that's the breadboard side. So it's just plain. And then this side is like a serving platter side. So it's got a little, sort of, his ear is a dip. So you can sort of pop things in there and sort of serve them up on the platter. Isn't it just adorable? Oh my God, I love it so much. That's Bertie's paws. Claws click-clacking on the floor again. I think he wants to go out and bark at the workman, but we don't need that kind of noise. Yes, so thank you so, so much. You know who you are. Oh my God, I love it. I didn't even know you could get such a thing. It's a Orla, it says on there, Orla Keeley. Yeah, but it's just adorable. I love it. And yeah, the whole family was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Here you go again. Clip clop, clip clop. Sit down then. Sit down. This one's quieter than that one. Yeah, but thank you so, so much. That is just, oh my God, perfect. What a wonderful gift. And then the other thing I shall tell you is from my lovely friend Sam. And it's this beautiful embroidery heart. And has it got, let me show you the picture for it. There we go. It's like a sort of nice Christmassy heart. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm really, really looking forward to do this. So the day this arrived, oh, horrible day I was having. Really horrible. And then I totally wasn't expecting this and it just sort of plopped through the door. I was like, what? Yeah, I just cried. But yeah, it was just exactly, oh, such a lovely thing to receive on such a poopy old day. So yeah, that really cheered me up. So yeah, very much looking forward to starting that. I think I'm going to start it before December as well because I just really want to. I don't know if I'll even finish my knits first or whether I might break into it before then. I'm not sure. But yeah, it just feels like the perfect thing. It just, like embroidery always feels like a sort of more slower, peaceful thing to me. So yeah, I think that would be perfect. I've got the whole kit here as well. So I've got the sort of material to make it. I've even got the stuff in there as well. Everything is there. And then the last thing I have to show you is this. Look at this beautiful cup. This arrived just yesterday. Isn't it gorgeous? It's got the little, sort of looks like a little button, but that's like the little signature because it was, I was going to say it and then I suddenly doubted myself. I'm disappearing off the screen. Here it is. It's Emma Wright Ceramics. I just wanted to check. So that's Mary Wright. Mary, did I say Emma just then? marywrightceramics.co.uk, if you could see it on the screen. Yeah, so that's her little sort of logo. But isn't that just gorgeous? Sorry, that's my phone making noise. Yeah, but that was a gift from my lovely friend Lou as well. Thank you so much, Lou. Look, isn't it? It's a real nice winter sipping from holdable mug. It's a lovely shape. Just a little flowers. So these are where the glaze is on. These are sort of, you know, drawn through so they appear through the glaze. And then the little flowers are added in different colour glazes. But that's just a very beautiful, tactile, lovely thing to hold in your hands. Really nice. So yes, lovely friends sending me beautiful things, and yeah, just feeling very, very grateful for that at the moment. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I was going to show you some socks that I've made, but this feels like it's been a bit of an epic task today, so I don't know how much footage I've got. I can always put some vloggy bits at the end if necessary, can't I? I've collected a couple of bits up. But yes, I did a little separate video. I called it Quiet Moments. It was kind of like a vlog type video, a bit like my Vlogmases, but without the Christmas, I suppose. And I guess kind of inspired by the Vlogtober things to a certain degree, but yeah, it was just a bit of sort of trying to record the more quiet, peaceful moments in my day, and sort of a collection of those popped together. So yeah, I put that up as a little separate video the other day, so thank you very much if you watched that and commented on that as well. I haven't been great at replying just lately, I know, so I hope you'll forgive me for that for the moment. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you ever so much to everyone who watched it and who commented on it, and I'm glad you liked it. And I was asked if more might be coming, and I think they might do. I just quite like that sort of format of just capturing little bits without it necessarily having to be me on the camera, which is kind of, you know, not my favourite part. It's okay for a podcast, I'm kind of used to it for that, but I'm not used to doing the sort of whole vlogging, hello, this is me talking to the camera thing, so I'm not really comfortable with that. But that kind of, how I do the Vlogmas, that kind of format I'm sort of a bit better with, so yeah, I might make some more. We'll see how it goes, but I'm glad that you liked it, so thank you for that. Anyway, yes, I think that's probably it for me. I feel like I'm forgetting things again. I don't know if that's just because I'm out of practice and rusty, or if I'm genuinely forgetting things. Probably I'm genuinely forgetting things. I normally afterwards go, oh, and I didn't say this and I didn't say that. But yes, thank you for being here and watching and making it through this long if you have, and just generally being all round good eggs lately. It's very much appreciated, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Okay,